this is Miss Sebastian with Unit 5, Lesson 5. The first type of question we're going to look at is list the following numbers in order from least to greatest. Well, they're all in different forms. We have one as a decimal, one as a fraction, and one as a radical. The 9.4 is pretty simple. We know that that's just equal to 9.4 as a decimal. So I want to go ahead and rewrite these all as decimals so that I can compare them a little more easily. So I've got a calculator, and the next one is 19.2. So if you've got your calculator, it's probably easier just to type these in to change them, or you could use some of the methods that we have done before. So I typed in 19 divided by 2, and I do get 9.5. And then I'm going to go again and do square root of 80. So I'm going to do 80 on my calculator and then the square root. So I get 8.94. Now I don't need my calculator anymore. Now I've got to use my brain and put these in order. Well, I see 9.4, 9.5, and 8.94. Well, I'm comparing the first digits first. So if I look, this 8.94 comes first. But I don't want to write it as the decimal because they want me to use these three numbers. So I've got to make sure I revert back to this one. Okay, then I look and I've got 9 and 9. Well, those are the same. So I go to the next digit. And I've got 4 and 5. So the 9.4 comes first. And then 9.5, which is 19 over 2. Then I've got those in order from least to greatest. Okay, what is the best approximation for the square root of 5 on the number line? Well, all I have to do, I can use my calculator to say square root of 5. It tells me that that's at about 2.236. So I'm going to look at 2, and it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are each fourths. So it would be 2.25 right here. So I can go ahead and put square root of 5 right there on the number line, because that would be about 2.25. Okay, which number is the best approximation for 4 times square root of 2 minus 2 times square root of 3? Now you're not going to see any of these where you're not going to be able to use your calculator. So I like my calculator for stuff like this because it gives me a good idea. Sorry, there's a glare there. Let's see. Okay, so I've got 4 times, let's do 2 square root first, and then multiply times 4. And I get about 5.6, let's call that 5.66. Okay, now I'm going to do this one, square root of 3 times 2, so minus 3.46. So now I can subtract 4.66 minus 3.46, and I get my answer of 2.2. Now the answer choices that they give you may not be exactly this. It may be 2.214. Okay, but you're going to make your best choice on these. Now if you've got a different kind of scientific calculator, if you have a TI 30X or the Multiview, it has the radicals on there that will help you simplify. If you don't, you can do it like I did and find the approximations here. Okay, what about if we're supposed to compare? We have a decimal and a radical. Well, it's very hard to compare those without knowing what that radical is. So I'm going to say the radical, or the square root of 15, is 3.872. Okay, sorry, 873 because that was a 9 after it. Okay, is 3.873 and 4.5872. The one that's greater is the one with 4 in the ones place. So this one says greater than. What about this one? I've got 5.1 and the square root of 32. So I'm going to take the square root of 32 and I get 5.66. Which one's greater? Well, they both have 5 in the ones place. The next place has 1 compared to 6. Well, the 6 is greater. So my sign is greater than.